Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly show of Classroom Without Walls, episode 139. My name is AI. I'm the host of this weekly live streaming show. On this show, I interview leading entrepreneurs, business leaders, social media marketers to come here to share with us their best practices so that we can future-proof our business. And today, I'm interviewing my dear friend, Lisa Gornall, to talk about something that is really, really important, at least I feel like in many people's businesses, and has made a big difference in my own business transformation. That is money mindset. And we are going to discuss how you can have the right money mindset to generate and attract more abundance into your life and the business. And you are going to walk away from today's interview with a much deeper understanding of what is why is mindset so important, and what is even a spiritual healer, like a medium, and what does that mean? And we're also going to share with you some specific tactics that you can apply to overcome your self-limiting beliefs, especially when you are doing coaching calls, when you are selling your program to prospects. And we're also going to discuss specific ways that we can cultivate our intuition, because I learned CEOs and business leaders who are more intuitive, they are actually making better and more profitable decisions. Like, who doesn't want that? So really excited. And we are live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Periscope, and on Twitch. If you are live with us right now, let me know in the comment section where you are joining us live from, social media wise and geographically speaking. Really excited for today's interview. Make sure you stay for the entire interview. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I am so happy to be here.
Yeah, really excited to have you. Do you want to add anything to my very brief introduction of who you are?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a spiritual medium. So I was born with my abilities, and I learned how to use them to help people. Like you said, really, I use them to help them with their mindset, because the energy is what drives the mindset. So if you're just trying to think a positive thought, or just push through something, and you're not addressing that energy, nothing's going to change.
Yeah, totally. I forgot to introduce Lisa. Lisa is a spiritual medium and healer and a mindset and energy coach. And Lisa has been in business for almost 2 decades. Really impressive. Yeah, you look so young. Yeah. So share with us. And for those people who are not familiar with spiritual medium and healer, what does that even mean? So explain that to us in everyday language.
So, and that's what I'm really good at, is everyday language. So I have the ability to become one with your energy. So I can feel what you're holding on to, why you're holding on to it, what you need to do to clear it, and then how you need to refill it with positive energy. And it's going to be different depending on what you're dealing with, what you're struggling with. But just to give you an idea, when we get frustrated or mad or angry or upset at something, we store that in our body to deal with later. And when's later? It's going to be irrelevant, like weeks from now. Somebody's going to say or do something totally irrelevant to all that energy we've been storing, and we're going to explode. So part of the work I do is helping people to realize, like, this is all energy, and I'm storing the energy, and the energy that I store, it affects my reality, it affects my experiences, and it definitely affects your abundance.
It's such a great point. I feel like as an entrepreneur, especially when I, just starting my journey, we all think that, starting a business, like doing this and doing that, implementing this. Yeah, we don't really look within to see, as you are talking about, energy and which energy level are we. So this is something I'm really fascinated by and excited to learn more about. So how did you discover your superpower? I don't think this is something that every day, you will run into someone who has this superpower. So how did you discover that? And how was it growing up with this special ability to understand energy? I can't even comprehend that.
Well, first of all, I had no idea that it was different. I thought everybody could see the things that I was seeing. I thought everybody just can see those things. And so I had no idea that I was doing anything different. I actually didn't think that I had abilities, because when you would take like a deck of cards and you would try to flip over the card, I couldn't tell you what the card was. But I can tell you what you're holding on to, why you're upset, what you need to do, how to get on your best path, why you're feeling overwhelmed, how to talk with this spirit, how to clear this energy. But I couldn't do like that basic thing. Like if you lose something and you're like, I lost this, how do I find? I don't know where it is. Like that doesn't have any energy. I can't find that. So growing up, I didn't think I had any abilities. And then my mom had a paranormal investigator come to our house when we were 9. I was 9. And she was clearing a spirit. And as soon as she came in and started talking about the spirit, I could see the spirit. And I had like this flood of memories of like all these things with the spirit. But I didn't know it was a spirit until somebody said, hey, this is a chair. This is a table. My mind didn't know how to categorize what I was seeing. Nobody in my house was talking about spirits. So I had no idea that that was a spirit. You know what I mean? And then when I got to be 20, I did some work with a Mayan shaman. And he was, helping me pull things out of my body energetically. And as soon as he did the first one, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm holding this from this life. I'm holding this from this. I have all this stuff. And so for me, it was just really meeting people and becoming aware of what I could do, because I didn't understand that it was different or unique, if that makes any sense.
Wow, that is so powerful. And I caught something you mentioned, right? You discovered you're holding this from this life and holding this from that life. So what do you mean by that? Are you saying that we are carrying energy not only from our like last past life, but past lives? So interpret that for us.
So this can just totally blow your mind. So don't think of it as like when people come to me and they're like, I saw someone and I talked about like my last 6 lives. I just kind of laugh and giggle, because we live millions of lives, okay? Like our heads can't even grasp it. We live millions of lives. And so what we continue to carry with us are those things that need to be healed, right? So let's say you and I, if we were in a relationship and that didn't work out well, we will reincarnate different situation, but same healing that needs to happen in order for us to make peace with that, to heal it. And we will continue to reincarnate together until we heal whatever that is. That can be the same true with beliefs. I can't tell you how many times I am in session with people and these images come up, like, when there's not even like the society structures that we have in place today, right? But there's these ideas and these beliefs and these fears, and they will stay with you energetically. You will carry them into all these different life experiences until you're ready to heal them.
Wow, that's amazing. That is really fascinating, just to think how much work we all have to do to clean, right? Clear the baggage that we have been carrying for centuries and thousands of years. Wow, that's like, no pressure there. So really interesting. So share with us. So how, like after you discover this kind of superpower, so like what inspired you to actually create a career, become an entrepreneur? As I mentioned earlier, you started this journey as early as 2002. At that time, I don't think entrepreneurship is as popular as today. So what's the turning point, the triggering point for you that inspires you to actually create a career doing this and create a really amazing life for yourself?
So in 2002, there wasn't really a lot of talk. People weren't really open. People didn't know what coaches were. People didn't really understand what mediums were. It was, there was no technology. It was a very different, just think about it as like a dark time in an entrepreneur's journey, because we didn't have access to all the things that we have access to today. But the reason that I actually started this journey was because I thought I wanted to be a nurse. I had always thought I wanted to be a nurse. When I was in 6th grade, and they're like, what do you want to do? And I had to write a paper on it. I literally tuned in and I was like, I see a Red Cross truck and I'm a nurse. I want to be a nurse. I had no idea I was seeing another life experience. And so I literally, if you go to my yearbook, everybody's like, good luck in nursing school, good luck. So literally in nursing school, my senior year, I have 2 classes left. I'm an AB student. You're going to love this story. I failed my final. And I knew the answers to the questions, but I wasn't present. I felt like I was kind of floating around the room, and I kept hearing it's all going to be okay. And as much as I liked like the talking with people and, healing their actual wounds, I didn't like giving medications. I didn't like so many things about nursing school that I was in. I hated going to clinical. Mm-hmm. So when you fail a final, you have to retake that class. And I was like, If I fail a class, I'm done. So I already had it set, like, this is the way that I'm going to go. This is how I'm going to do healing. But then once I was there, it didn't work for me anymore. And so I saw myself just kind of, going into companies and helping them clear out, right? Because, you're behind that cubicle, you're holding on to all this stuff. And so I thought, well, that's how I can help people. And it evolved and it changed. But the only way for me to be able to do the work that I wanted to do back in 2002 was for me to create this job. And here I am today.
Wow, that's really fascinating. You are really ahead of the game than many of us. So talking about entrepreneurship and working with entrepreneurs, and nowadays you primarily work with successful entrepreneurs to help them become more aligned so they can get to a next level in their business. So share with us, after so many years of working with them, based on your observation and experience, what do you think are some like thoughts and beliefs that are holding and them back?
So I find that the biggest thing that holds an entrepreneur back from reaching their next level is their success wound. And this is you're proving something, right? To somebody. That person may not even be alive anymore. You may not even know what you're proving, but you're proving something to someone. And that's that constant drive to do more, create more, make more, be more, impact more, more and more and more. And so what I have found through all my years is that it's one of three things that you're proving that can tie back to one of these areas. I am worthy, I am enough, I am love. And you might be proving I am worthy and I am enough. You might be proving all three. You might be proving one. You might be proving two. It just depends on you. But you're trying to prove that through your work. It shows up in your relationships. And that's part of what stops a lot of entrepreneurs from hitting that next level, because they're pushing themselves beyond what their bodies can physically do, trying to create that hustle and keep everything going.
Wow, that's really interesting. And I wonder, right, like, I definitely have those self-limiting beliefs. So how about for children who are young? Is this something that we're born with? Like we're born with feeling good about yourself and worthy and valued and loved. And slowly as we become older, then we lose that, because I feel like from most of the coaching calls that I have been a part of, like almost everyone struggle with this, right? I don't feel good enough. I don't feel loved. Who am I to do this? Like, do you see that as a result of socialization? Like what happened from being like a baby, feeling like so loved, so joyful, to kind of the state that we slowly get into?
Well, here's the thing. Not all babies are loved. Not all babies are wanted. And we can feel that before we even come into the womb, right? We're picking our parents. We're choosing that situation to help us heal these certain things that we want to heal. So we come in with some of these experiences. So they're coming in from other past lives. And then it also is in our family. We come into those families to help us heal these things that we need to heal. And so it definitely starts in childhood. And it might not even be your parents that put that on you. It could be a family member. It could be a family friend. It could be a teacher. It could be anybody. We are so shapeable when we're young. And so there's all these different ways that we can pick it up, but we can all go back to a point in time and say, this is when this happened to me.
Yeah, I can definitely remember a few things. My parents told me, like, you are just so bad, you're not good enough. Why did I even give birth to you? And two things that some of the things my teacher told me when I was a student, and I still remember them as if yesterday. Yeah. So you think all those things kind of affect our current like state of being, right?
Well, we hold on to them, just like I said, we hold on to it to deal with it later, but we don't deal with it. And that ends up becoming part of our drive. We're going to show our parents, we're going to show that teacher, we're going to prove it. We're going to, but at what cost, right? And eventually it doesn't work for us. And it actually is not an abundant mindset, because we're always coming from a place of lack. When we're trying to prove something, instead of standing in our truth, I am love, I am enough, I am worthy. If we're trying to prove these things, that's not an abundant state, right? Abundance is about receiving. We don't have to go out there and manifest and be. It's already there. Abundance is there. We just have to let ourselves receive it.
Yeah, I think many of us are very familiar with this lack, scarcity mentality. So share with us, how will a person with this abundance mentality mindset like exist, like function on a daily basis? Like how is
Well,
this person thinking and behaving? So can you give us some examples?
yeah, so to be in the most abundant place, you have to just remember and know that we live in an abundant universe. I mean, think about it. Your soul was born into your body knowing what to do. Everything that you need is on the planet. You are provided for, you are taken care of. That shows you that this is an abundant universe that you're living in, right? So we are already there. So now once we realize I am in this abundant place, one thing that we can do to help us stay in that place is to be grateful for the things that we have in our lives. Like, I am grateful for my education. I'm grateful for my experiences. I am grateful for this chair that I'm sitting in. I am grateful for this opportunity, whatever it may be. But you have to be truly grateful for what's happening in your life, because that says, hey, I like that. Bring me more of those things, right? Because like attracts like. So that's one simple thing that you can do. Another thing you can do is to begin your day with abundance energy work. So, if you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I have all these calls, I need to book these appointments, I need to sign somebody, I need to do this. Our words are so powerful. They create our experiences. So if you're like, I need a new client, need means you're not getting it. I want this person to do this. I want means that they're not going to do it, right? So we need to pay attention to our thoughts, because our thoughts create our words and our words create our actions. So instead, if we wake up in the morning and let's just say that we're bringing in the abundance, or we're bringing in white light, right, to calm and balance our energy. Let's say that we're doing some abundance, right? I allow abundance to flow easily and effortlessly into my life. That's going to start off your day in a whole different way than, oh my gosh, I need to get up, I need to get going, I need to check my email, what's going on in the world, I need to reach out to this person, I need to follow up. Like, those are two totally different energetic experiences. One vibe is down here and one's up here, right? So we've got to pay attention to, basically what we're creating even as we begin our day.
Yeah, it's just like listening to you talk. I think many people, including myself, sometimes even before we get out of bed, our phone is already in our hand. We're checking emails, and then that already set up our overall like theme for the day. So can you share with us your morning routine? What do you do? Like, if you don't mind sharing what time you
Yeah,
get up.
absolutely. I feel like I talk about this all the time, but I'm happy to share. So before I even get out of bed in the morning, like if I have to set my alarm, I give myself 10 minutes to lay in bed and just bring in energy work. So like I'll imagine a white light, which is God, love, universe, source, just coming in from the top of my head, down to my feet and into the earth. And the reason that I do this is because who knows what I was dreaming last night, right? But I want to be in a calm place, right? I help my people get calm and balanced and focused. So if I'm not in that place when I'm starting my day, I can't help my clients, right? And it's the same for a lot of entrepreneurs out there. So I'll bring in the white light. I might say some I am statements like I am peace, I am calm. I might do the abundance that I talked about. But for 10 minutes, I just lay in bed and I'm doing basic, simple energy work before my feet hit the floor. My phone is in the kitchen, which is at the opposite end of the house. So if somebody was trying to call me, they would have no way to reach me because my phone is not even in my bedroom. So, I get up, I'll wash my face, I'll get dressed, I'll go into the kitchen, I'll say hi to the kids. So I haven't even said hi to my kids because my kids are teenagers, right? And then, I'll eat food and then I'll check my phone. So I'm not checking my phone, I would say the first 45 minutes that I'm up. So if people are trying to get a hold of me, I'm always like, don't try to reach me, try to reach somebody else in my family because my phone is not within my reach.
Wow. So since when, did you actually implement this morning routine, and how has this really changed your life prior to implementing this? Do you remember, or do you always have this routine?
I feel like I've always done the energy work, but phones, weren't always a part of my life because, I'm not super young. But it was always just, for me, it was just about, because the work that I do, I just have to be very calm and centered and grounded. And I felt like even when my kids were little, like that was the time that I could have, like even when they were waking up, I could get them like a little something to eat or whatever. And I could just sit there and I could like balance and ground myself. And if I don't, like I was at an event a couple weeks ago and my whole morning routine was off and I just didn't even know what to do with myself. Like I had the energy work piece down, but I wasn't like, getting up and washing my face and getting dressed. I was like, I was doing the energy work, and then I'd have to check my phone because otherwise I wasn't gonna be able to check it. And it just messed up my whole morning. And I was just trying to like get back. So after that first morning of doing that, I was like, I'm not doing that tomorrow. So then the next day I was like, I'm back into my routine. Here's my energy work. I'm gonna wash my face. I'm gonna get dressed. Then I'm gonna touch my phone. Then I'm gonna go out because then there was a whole bunch of people out there. So it was creating a new routine, because if I'm not in that space, then it's harder for me to do the work that I need to do. And I think it's the same for all entrepreneurs out there. If you're starting from that crazed place, when do you make it better?
Totally. I agree. And on the days when I do check my phone, which is really bad. So if something good happens, overall that day is good. But if something bad happens, oh my God, that whole day just like everything is against me, right? Like
right.
The energy flow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's setting your day. So you're giving that technology that power, right, to connect with you immediately and determine how your day is going to go, instead of you creating a routine that works for you, that's going to then establish how your day goes.
Yeah, I love it. So talking about like morning routine, and so do you like also kind of part of the morning routine? I feel like nowadays there is a glamorization of hustling, right? You will read articles on media, like I'm the 5 a.m. club and I'm the 4 a.m. club. I'm like 3 a.m. club. I literally read an article like 3 a.m., like talking about how productive, how much work you could have done before your kids, family, everyone is awake. I was like, wow, that is just like intense, right? Like, so what do you think about that?
Oh, I totally teach the opposite of that, because here's what happens, right? So if you're a part of that 3 a.m. club and that 4 a.m. club, what are you giving up to get up that early? You're going to give up sleep. We give up sleep like no tomorrow, but we need sleep to help our bodies heal, to help our bodies function. It's like a required part of our lives. And so the less sleep we get, the more crabby we get, the more irritable we are, the more we're not able to flow with the day, the less focused we are. There's so many studies out there that can tell you that not getting enough sleep is not okay. But we're told if you hustle, you're going to be super successful. But I'm here to tell you, I work with people that are super successful. I work with people that do the hustle, and they make more money now, not hustling, than they did when they were doing the hustle. Because when you're hustling, you are not enjoying your life. And that's not why you became an entrepreneur. You didn't become an entrepreneur to have a hustle lifestyle. You became an entrepreneur to have the freedom lifestyle, right? Whatever that means to you. The idea that you could go on a vacation, like this amazing epic vacation, and like be on vacation whenever you want for like 2 weeks. But as an entrepreneur, how many times do you do that? And if you are on vacation, I can almost guarantee you that you're working, because that's what society tells us, right? So you're not even living up to that.
Guilty, right? Like, why other people are working, why am I taking vacation? You're feeling guilty. Yeah.
Yeah. But the more that you're stuck in that hustle, your body can't sustain it. So you get overwhelmed and you get exhausted, and you're going to hit your breaking point. And when you hit your breaking point, it's bad. So your goal is to not hit your breaking point. You can push your body, absolutely, but your body is going to say, why are we doing this? What's going on? You're going to get sick. You're going to get injuries. Things are going to happen to make you stop. It's so much easier to, really build in that freedom lifestyle that you really wanted originally, and not buy into this hustle lifestyle. Because I tell you what, people come to me and they're in that hustle lifestyle, and we stop it. We create boundaries around their time and their schedule and all this stuff. And you know what? They start making more money.
I love it. I love it. And I used to have that mentality. I was like, I need to work all the time. I was exhausted. Now, like, normally things will take me 1 hour to finish. For example, like when I'm overly exhausted, it will take me 2 hours to finish. So it seems like I'm productive, like I'm actually not being productive. I truly believe working hard does not mean that you will actually make more money. And I know lots of people, as you mentioned, who work extremely hard, but are quite broke, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and they never feel like they have the money, and they're not enjoying this life that they created. And so they get stuck into proving what we were talking about earlier, whatever they're trying to prove, and they're not enjoying this amazing life that they've created. And I'll tell you, on their deathbed, they're not going to say, I'm so glad I worked all the time. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. And so we got to look at what we're doing, and like we got to just create schedules and be productive and listen to our intuition and make time and space for self-care, because that's how we get to that next level. It's not in the hustle. The hustle is a low vibrational energy.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So hustling is, oh, wow, that is powerful. A low vibrational energy. I didn't even know that. Yeah. So maybe, before I ask you to share your evening routine with us, so maybe you can share with us like energy level, in terms of frequency and vibration. So if hustling is a low vibrational level of energy, so what is a higher one? Like, is there a hierarchy that you can share with us?
Well, I don't necessarily think, I mean, there's definitely a hierarchy, but I don't ever like put it into those terms. But I always just kind of say like there's like the low vibrational energies. And those, that they're low vibrational because you don't feel good doing them, right? You don't feel good hustling. You don't feel good when you're in a place of lack. You don't feel good when you're self-sabotaging. You don't feel good when you're in victim place. You don't feel good when you're like talking yourself out of doing what you're supposed to be doing. Those are all low vibrational frequencies. Whereas a higher vibrational frequency is stepping into abundance, stepping into your truth, stepping into your power, right? All of the things that we're naturally here to do. So basically, if it's trying to pull you down and out of your truth, it's a low vibrational energy. And if it's lifting up you and others, then it's a higher vibrational energy.
Well, I love that. So if someone has been in that lower state for quite a few years, for many people, maybe even a few decades, so they develop that identity. So like how long will it take to move up to a higher level?
Well, here's the great thing about energy. Energy moves quickly.
Wow.
Think about it, right? You're in a good space and you get a text or an email and it makes you feel bad and your energy drops. That happens instantly. But the same thing can happen if you get a text or a message and you're already in a low place and then that raises you up. We can shift our energy as quickly as we would like to because it's energy. In every second, we begin anew. So if we don't like what we were just doing, all we have to do is start shifting that energy and that behavior and that pattern. But what we need to do, which is a little bit harder, is get to the root of that pattern. Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I hurting myself? Why do I like being in this lower vibration? Right? We got to break that pattern because otherwise that pattern is going to say, you're up there. I don't want you up there. I want to bring you down here. Right? So it's this constant juggle. So we just want to become aware of why we're doing what we're doing and if it's working.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing to ask yourself. Is this working?
Yeah.
And the answer is almost always no.
I love it. And also share with us like other specific like actions that we can take that can break that pattern. Like first, I think we need to recognize that, right?
Yes.
That most people don't even recognize that. So after we recognize that, then we can do something to regulate it. So what are some ways that we can, break that pattern?
So once you know what the pattern is that you want to break, let's say that you keep self-sabotaging because that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs do. So let's take self-sabotaging.
Who can relate? Raise your hand in the live chat.
So if you are self-sabotaging, what you want to do is you want to catch yourself in the moment. So you know exactly what self-sabotaging looks for you. You know how it shows up in your life. You know what it's doing. So once you're in that moment, you can shift and change it at any time. So what you want to do is when you start to do it, you want to catch yourself and say, oh, I'm doing it again. And I don't care how far or how long you've been in that process. The key is to recognize it. That's your pivotal moment. Once you're in your pivotal moment, you can start to shift and create a new reality for yourself. So let's say that you're self-sabotaging. I can't do that. I'm not in the mood for it today. I can't, whatever that reason may be. So you got to say, oh, I'm doing it. So you want to recognize it. Then you want to clear it. Because otherwise it's just here hanging out. It can't be here in your space. It can't be trying to control you and manipulate you. So you want to say, whatever's trying to self-sabotage me, I'm releasing that. I'm clearing it. I'm pulling it out of my body. I'm pulling it out of my life. It's no longer going to be here. Okay. And then from there, you're going to refill it with positive energy. Otherwise, that's like, well, I was holding that energy and there's nothing there. I want to put it back. So to refill it with the positive energy, you're just going to say, I am focused. I am ready. I am supported. I am free. Whatever I am is going to best support you. And then start taking an action. You don't have to do the whole staircase. You can just do one little baby step. When you want to start taking action, and then every time that your body is trying to be like, oh, I don't want to do that, or you shouldn't do that, or you can't do that. Anytime you're hearing can't, shouldn't, don't, won't, anything like that, you know that that's not your intuition guiding you. Because your intuition is always clear, powerful, forward-moving directions. So if you're hearing these can't, shouldn't, whatevers, that's your sign, that's your red flag that I need to change something right now, or I'm just dropping my energy. And I'm not going to be on goal with whatever my goals are. I'm not going to be on plan.
So clear the energy, like kind of tell yourself, stop it, right? Like send it out, and then practicing the I am statement. I think all the I am statement that you share with us, really, really powerful. Yeah, I am statement. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can even imagine like a soft pastel color too, which a good one when you're self-sabotaging like that would be like a soft green. So you can just like imagine a soft green, like you can wrap yourself in it like a blanket. You can imagine it going through your body and filling every cell all the way forward. But it's just like, I am free.
Mm.
And I am going to go do this now because this no longer has control over me, right?
Yeah, I'm sure this takes practice, right? Like based on like it just sounds so easy, but I'm sure when we're implementing this, either work with a coach or just like be patient, right? It's not because it takes many years for us to get to where we are, and we'll take practice repeating yourself until eventually break this pattern, right? It's not just like one-time thing, right?
Well, usually it's complicated because we've tied those patterns in all these ways to like really anchor us down in. But actually the hardest part isn't letting it go. The hardest part is getting objective and being aware of what we're doing in the first place to hurt ourselves, to self-sabotage, because it's such an ingrained pattern we don't even know. So if you're not working with a coach that can help you, then ask your family, ask your friends. Like, what do I do? How am I holding myself back? Because they can see it and they're going to tell you. So the biggest problem we have is not being objective. The energy work is easy.
It's like driving. We all have that blind spot that I don't even see. I do like sometimes when I catch myself on video, I say, oh, do I actually do that? Or do I say that out loud? I don't even realize. I think that's kind of how I'm interpreting what you are sharing this with us, right? That blind spot, we don't even know. So it's nice to have like a mirror, like a coach or like family members. Yeah. So earlier you mentioned, don't say words like I need this, I want this. I wonder if there's a list of words that you just intentionally don't even say in your day-to-day life. Can you share that with us? Because I think that's really powerful, especially when a few years ago, when I started doing journaling and positive affirmations, I think many people make this mistake, right? I want to have a partner. I need more clients, and I want to lose weight. And so first share with us, why is that so bad? And second, do you have a list of words that we shouldn't use when we are doing this type of I am statement and positive affirmations?
Absolutely. So I always say these are the list of words to stricken from your vocabulary. I need, I want, I crave, I desire, I wish. Because all of those words mean you're not getting what you would like to have. The most powerful statement that you can make to the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it, is I am. I am means that you are. You are there. So I am free instead of I want to be free. You know what I mean? It's just paying attention to how those words are showing up and what they're creating in our life. And you can see it. Like if you keep saying, I need to go on vacation. I need to go on vacation. I need to go on vacation. I need to create a better schedule. I need to create a better schedule. You never do it, right? Because you need to do it. You're not going to do it. A more powerful statement in a situation like that is, I am going to create a work schedule today and put it down on your calendar and make sure that you do it. Or I am going to do this. I am is the most powerful thing because that's what you're going to do. It's putting you into that motion.
Wow. And so do you like actually sometimes catch yourself when you say things like, I need this, I need to do this? Do you actually catch yourself doing that?
Not so much anymore because I've been doing this for so long. I spend a lot of my time catching it in my clients and catching it in other people, or if I'm working with a copywriter. I was working with my copywriter last week and she was like, you need, and I was like, ooh, I can't put that word on there. Like that goes against everything that I believe. And she just kind of laughed at me and she's like, okay, yeah, I understand. But it's just hard for me to even put those words because I understand the power of their meaning. They're just thrown out in the English language. Like they're just so commonplace, right? Like even if you're at a restaurant, I want a blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now you're going to get that food, right? So that's a little bit of a different scenario, but we don't understand when it comes to putting out what we're trying to create and setting our goals, what those words are doing to those goals.
Yeah, totally. Now as I'm hearing you speak, when I say like I am, has this sense of unity, right? What I want and who I am like intertwined, well integrated. When I say I need this, a very clear sense of separation. I don't have this yet, which perpetuates that state. So powerful. So you shared with us your morning routine. And do you have an afternoon routine? Do you take a like a lunch nap or like break, or like if not, just share your evening routine with us?
So my middle of my day depends on how my schedule looks. Like I always have 12 to 1 on my schedule cleared out. So that way I can take a lunch. I can do whatever I need to do. If my schedule's looking too busy, I will block out on my schedule for a nap, because the work that I do, I feel like I'm running a marathon and I get physically exhausted. And so I'll make sure that I have that. But I always make sure that I have lunch. I kind of use my lunch as a time to reevaluate my day. Like, right, because we have our priorities in the morning. But then as, things come up or situations happen or fires appear, we need to reevaluate. So I use lunchtime to kind of reevaluate my day. Is there something that I need to shift to another day? What's going on with my day? It's just kind of an introspection time for me to just kind of assess what's going on. And then my nighttime routine drives my
I love
husband
that.
crazy.
I feel like, sorry to interrupt you. And
That's okay.
I feel like most people just like their day, they don't even think about their morning, like let alone like, stop halfway through to actually do a reflection on the day. I love that. I'm going to incorporate that into my day-to-day life.
Most people don't even take a lunch.
That's true.
And your body is starving. And so then you start eating junk because it's just quick and easy, right? Because you skip that meal. And then they're like, well, why aren't I losing weight? But then you get in that routine.
Yeah, some people, like I'm guilty of this myself, actually having my lunch in front of my computer, like watching something, then like eating, you're like, oh, I actually finished the food. You don't even know like how much you are consuming. That's bad, right?
Well, here's the thing, like we are putting energy into the food that we're eating, whether we're aware of it or not. And so if you're like stressed about work, you're putting that stress into your food. If you feel like you don't have time to eat and you got to be fast, like you're putting all that energy into your food, you're consuming that food. And then that's going into your stomach and that's going to have impact. So we want to be aware of the environment that we're eating our food in.
Yeah. So when you are actually having lunch, it's just like lunch. You don't watch anything, it's just like lunch. Is that right?
Well, it's a little bit different right now because I'm in California and our kids are all at home. So for lunch, like we're all together. So it's different than when my kids are at school. We have a different routine. But right now it's kind of like they come out, we all come down, like we have lunch together, and then they tell us about their day. So it's like a midday break for them. So it's a little bit different than normal. But when the kids aren't here, we'll make sure that we pull each other, sit down, have lunch, and like we'll talk. And, it's a little bit of a different experience. But it's, still the same thing. Instead of my husband and I talking, it's our kids are talking and they're telling us about their day.
Yeah, it's so harmonious. I love it. Yeah. So share with us your evening routine. And I feel like this is something that many people overlook because we have the morning miracles, right? Everyone's talking about morning routine. We talk about this at 5 a.m. doing this and that, meditation, journaling. But evening routine, I feel like I don't hear much about. So share with us about your evening routine.
So an evening routine is so important, right? There's a reason why children have a bedtime routine. Okay. So if you've been hustling and going hard all day long, and then you get to bedtime and you think you're just going to lay your head down on the pillow and you're going to fall asleep, you already know it's not going to happen, right? Because you're still thinking about what you need to do for tomorrow and ideas and all these things. And if you're on your phone, those images, when you close your eyes, you can like still see them. So what I do for my bedtime routine, and my husband can't stand it, it's about a 30 to 45-minute routine. He might even say that it's longer. But once we're going to bed, once I've started that routine, there is no more phone. The phone is put into the kitchen. I don't see my phone again until, after my morning routine the next day. And then I go into the bedroom, I pick out my clothes for the next day. I start getting my teeth ready. I start washing my face. I take my shower. And I'm not thinking about what I need to do tomorrow. I'm really unwinding and, when I take my shower at night. And the reason that I do that is so that way anything that I picked up that I'm not aware of, any stress from the day, anything, I'm just really cleaning and clearing that out. I let it go down the drain. It's just my whole bedtime routine is very relaxing. So that way, when I go out and I have my essential oils and I lay down on the pillow, my head is the pillow and my husband's got about 1 minute to talk to me. And he gets so frustrated because sometimes he'll try to talk to me or whatever, and I'm out, I'm gone, I'm done. And so If he wants to talk to me or anything, it needs to happen before I've, laid down and I'm like getting in position to fall asleep, because I fall asleep very quickly.
Wow, that's awesome. And imagine, as entrepreneurs, we all do like sales calls, talking with clients, you bring that peaceful energy and just feeling good, abundant, bring those calls. Oh, it's just like, yeah, even like, behind the computer screen, I can feel you calm, like peace. It just feels really, really good. Yeah.
People say I feel very calm and they just love to be around me. But I intentionally have created all these practices in my day to help me be in that space. Now I know what the hustle is like. I did that. I know exactly what that's like. And it didn't work for me and it didn't work for my family, So for me, it's about creating these routines, and routines really energetically only take 3 days. So once you start doing something, you're good. And then once you break it, then it's going to take 3 days to get it going again. So if you're creating this nighttime routine, you're not worrying about work. You're not thinking about what you have to do the next day. You're not thinking about things that didn't get solved, projects you have to complete, sales calls you have to do. When you're doing all of that, you're still working. You're not sleeping. And I feel I'm really good about like, I'm done working at this time and I'm done working at that time. And there is no more working until the next day.
Yeah. And I love how you talk about sales calls, which is actually one of my questions, because I remember that you did in our coaching calls that, it's really important that we bring in that like positive energy, feeling good about yourself, your energy before the phone call, before or Zoom chat. So share with us, why is that so important that we actually uplift our own energy so that we can, close the deal, have a more pleasant conversation with our prospect?
Well, we can all read energy. So if you walk into a room, you can tell if somebody's in a bad mood or a good mood, right? We know. And so the same thing is like when you're in a sales call. If you get into a sales call and you're desperate for that sale, that's an icky energy. And we can feel it, right? It would be comparable to a used car salesman energy. So you don't want to go into your sales calls with that energy, because when you're in that energy, people are already like, I don't want to buy from a used car salesman. I don't want that energy. And so if you're going in your sales calls with that, you're not going to have a very good turnover. Your success rate is not going to be great. And so what you want to do instead, I kind of talked about it briefly at the beginning, but you want to just bring in that white light, right? Because that's going to balance, ground, and center your energy. Anything that's like, or hanging on you, it just kind of helps you clear it off. You can kind of just do a quick little push of it away, as you're bringing that white light in. And then that's going to help you feel calm and grounded, which is exactly what whoever's hiring you is going to want you to feel like. They're going to want to know that you're calm, you can handle anything, and that you're grounded, you're down to earth, you're realistic. They're going to want to know that. But if you're like scattered and like, I just had one call and I'm in another, like whatever energy we're bringing to that call, they're going to know. So it's really important that you just ground and balance your energy. And like even before my sales calls, I'll just put some white light on in them, white light into the call. And the intention isn't to like make anybody buy. The intention is, let's just create this nice space. And then from there, if you're a fit and I want to work with you, then you can buy. But I'm not trying to use it to manipulate, right? Because you can't lie to energy. So if you're like, I'm going to bring in the white light and then they're going to buy. No, that's still that used sales car energy. You're just doing it in a different way. So we want to just be very clear in our intentions.
That's so powerful. Do you actually also do some like visualization, like visualizing yourself, like maybe closing the deal, or like another time that you actually close the deal to kind of put yourself into that emotional gratitude, like feeling good about yourself state? Do you do any sort of visualization before doing those calls?
No. But I do visualizations, and it's more of just to help me keep growing with my business and having more impact, right? Because as entrepreneurs, we want to have more impact. So what I always teach people is to just see yourself in the future, 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it is for you, and see yourself doing the things that you're wanting to do right now, right? See how I put the wanting in a quotation mark? I can't say those words without like doing something to help offset the intention of their meaning. But let's say that, you're envisioning yourself doing the work that you love, working with people that you love, having the income, everything is falling into place and you're happy and you're enjoying your life. And then you allow that energy to come back into your chest, into your arms, into your hands, and into everything around you. So you're already there, right? Because when you're able to read the future and stuff, it's because of the way that it's hard. Our minds can't grasp how our reality works, but we're already there. We're already doing it. So what we're doing is we're tapping into that, and we're up leveling where we're at right now energetically, and getting more onto that field of where we're already at, because we're going there. That's where we're heading. So the more that we can level up our energy, the more we're going to level up the people that we're bringing to us, the more we're going to level up the abundance that's coming in. It's all, about leveling up.
I love it. I'm already feeling so good right now. So will you visualize yourself into the future? And I know many entrepreneurs will actually set a specific number, 250,000, 500,000, 1,000,000 by the end of 3 years or 18 months. So do you actually give yourself a specific number? The reason I ask that question is sometimes when I see numbers, I feel a little bit stressed. I don't know about others, am I reaching my goal? I don't have much time left. So what's your practice? Do you give yourself a specific number, or just embrace the flow? Whatever amount comes, just embrace it.
I don't give myself a number, and it drives my coach crazy. And now they've accepted it and they're okay with it. But the reason that I don't give myself a number is, let's say that I set my number at 250 or 500,000, right? Then I'm limiting myself to that number. Very few people, once they hit that number, are going to have that energy and ability to go beyond that number in that fiscal year. It's just kind of the way that it works, right? Because you hit that goal, and then you're exhausted, you're done because you've been hustling, and you're just not going to do anymore, right? That's typically what happens when people set those kind of goals. So what I do instead is I send off an energy, and I'm receiving that, the people that I'm supposed to work with are going to find me easily and effortlessly. And so you can just imagine coming out of your third eye, just sending out a beam of light, because you're already showing up, your messages are already out, you're doing the work, you're on social media, you have the results and the testimonials. People know that you're amazing at what you do. So now they just got to find me. And so I can just send out that beam of light and just allow them to find me. And it works. And they find you. And then you're like, well, how did you find me? Oh, I found you on LinkedIn, or I found you on whatever. And you're like, oh, all I did was, it was already there. But for them to find it, there's just these energetic connections, because your people are going to be ready to work with you when they're ready. And they will find you, right? When the student's ready, the teacher appears. And so, right. I mean, there are people that are put that $1 million bill up on your wall or do all these things. But from an energy standpoint, you're trying to manifest and you're trying to create. And that's a very hustle, masculine energy. Whereas more of the feminine energy is, I am going to reach these goals. I am achieving these things. Because there are things that you want to, do. I'm doing it. I'm going to allow it to come in. But that doesn't mean you're just laying on the couch, not getting dressed and living on social media all day. You're still working, and you're still taking the actions, and you're still getting the results for your clients. It just means that instead of you trying to force things to happen, you're creating the space where they're just happening, and all you have to do is receive them.
Totally makes so much sense. You are still doing the work, but not in the sense of desperation, right? I need to do this so that a linear, right, causal relationship. I have to do this, so that will happen. But the state of being that you just described for us is in a much more relaxed state. I have that sense of certainty that this will happen to me. Those people will come to me, and then you are actually much more relaxed. And I know, I'm not sure about everyone in the live show right now, when I'm relaxed, I do better work, right? My creativity flows, my writing flows. I do much better quality work. So I love this new frame paradigm to think about this. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. So we're just wrapping this up, and I'm really curious because a few years ago, I actually read this book saying that business leaders and CEOs who are more intuitive, in touch with their own emotions, they actually make better and more profitable business decisions. I was like, wow, that is so interesting, because most of the time we think that to make more money, we have to be really business savvy, right? There are not that many people who think that, oh, wow, intuition will actually have a financial ROI. So I wonder, you are born with this amazing superpower, but for other people, we are not born with this superpower. Other ways that we can do and practice to become more intuitive and follow your gut, to most people's gut is asleep or not functioning.
Or They've ignored it so many times, like they don't even know what it sounds like.
Exactly. So other ways that we can reawaken like our heart, our soul, our gut, whatever, and to become more in touch with our own emotions so we can make better business decisions. I mean, exercise that we can do to, build this muscle.
You want to meditate. And the reason that you want to meditate, and I don't mean like meditate like you're putting it on your phone, you're listening to the app, but like you're not meditating. While the meditation's on, you're thinking about other things you need to do, and that's not meditating, that's thinking, okay? So meditating is when you're creating a space for your body and your mind to rest. Now, here's the problem. If you're always hustling and you're always on the go, when you try to take this moment to calm everything down, your body's going to be like, oh, I hurt here. I have a pain here. This isn't comfortable. This is because you don't ever listen to your body. So your body's going to take that meditation time to say, these are all the things that are wrong with me right now. Fix me. Okay. Once you get those out of the way, then your mind is going to start saying, you need to do this. You got to focus on this, because your mind has been trained to constantly be on the go and going. So when you first try to sit down and meditate, and then your body and your mind are telling you all these things, you need to just recognize, I'm breaking this pattern. This is my time to be. B-E-B. I am just being. And set your phone for 5 minutes and just imagine, like I talked about, bringing in the white light, doing some breathing, listening to the sounds in nature. And if you feel your body, like something comes up, then just, oh, I'm sorry that you're uncomfortable. Let me just pull the energy out of there. If your mind starts thinking about something, no, this is not the time. I have 5 minutes to be. And it's just really getting control over that. Because when you start making time to be, your intuition is going to start to come through in those moments. Right now, if you're hustling all the time, your intuition is going to come through when you're driving, when you're doing laundry, when you're washing dishes, when you're doing like a mundane task. And you're probably like so annoyed you're doing this mundane task that you're not even listening to it. But your intuition is always going to guide you on best steps for you moving forward, right? It's helped you create your vision, your dream. That's all your intuition guiding you. We all have these dreams about the work we're here to do. That's your intuition. So you're already listening to it because you're creating a career with it. You just got to make more time to be so you can listen to it more.
Yeah, totally. I love it. I love how Len said that. I also heard this, we are human beings, not human doings, right? Right now, everyone's like, the busier you are, it feels like the more successful you are, right? Especially on Zoom call. Sometimes we have smoke chat. People, when people say, "Oh, I'm really busy," and the other people say, "Oh, yeah, that's good. It means that you're making money. You're doing great." I think we need to get rid of those old way of thinking. And meditation. When I first started meditating, I can't even close my eyes for 1 minute. Like all the thoughts were like just like wow. But with practice now I can definitely half an hour, it's not that bad. But when I just got started, it was really bad. Yeah.
Our mind will do what we've taught it to do. That's and powerful. Without even being aware, we've taught it to always be busy, always be thinking, always be processing, always be, you know what I mean? That's not what we need to be doing anymore.
It's like how we condition the dog, right? Like we condition the dog, we'll hear the bell, something's going to happen, you're going to be fed. So our mind is the same thing. Yeah. So really fascinating conversation. So share with us, Lisa, like where can we learn more about you? And I know you also have a few books, so share your books with us. And the social media, website, everything. Yeah,
so you can find me on social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Those are the places I hang out. I also have a YouTube channel. So you can just Google my name, Lisa Gornall, Gornall, and that's how you're going to find me. She's got it down there for you. And then my books are available on Amazon. If you want a personalized signed copy, you can buy them on my website. But the books are really good tools to help you start becoming aware of your energy. They help you through change and help you with your relationships. So they're great tools to support you on your energetic journey.
Yeah, exciting. I said, I highly recommend. Here's Lisa's website. Definitely check her out. Go to her website and get some of the books. And I wish I discovered the importance of mindset. Before I started my business, makes such a huge difference. I used to struggle, to even. We didn't have time to talk about this today. So much fear surrounding money, right? Am I charging people too much? Like I feel guilty taking people's money, even though I'm doing work for them. I feel guilty. So now, like when I look at those stuff, I'm like, wow, it's so funny. But they used to trap me. Like I just cannot move forward. So thank you for sharing everything with us, Lisa. So really such a great conversation. And thank you for joining us live, everyone, from all over the globe. Yeah, great comments. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Oh, and then the website going along the bottom is, I think, actually yours. Just boldly go.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Not mine.
That's not me. You're not going to find me there.
Hold on. Let me share my screen. Yeah, I got it. But sorry. Yeah, probably I changed it. I forgot to save. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Everyone, here is Lisa. Thank you for catching that. Is that yours?
But I have been on that podcast.
Yeah, maybe that's how I just, I was Googling name. Yeah, so sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, mine is just my name, lisagornall.com.
Yeah, the first one, right?
There I am, yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so sorry, everyone. Yeah, thank you for catching that typo. Yeah, so here is Lisa's official website. Look at that picture. Feeling so good just to look at that. So check it out and download and join her email and keep learning from Lisa. And thank you so much for a great interview. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. I hope to see you again next Wednesday or Thursday for some of you. Same time, same location. Bye.